Welcome to the Qusmart GENESIS Governance Agent for Copilot Studio agents, the no-code, low-code way to work with enterprise data. By deploying the Qusmart GENESIS Governance Agent as a system principal ID, you have created a native, hardware-level identity anchor that bypasses the agent observer fallacy. The Qusmart GENESIS Governance Agent deploys as a Microsoft-certified trusted launch Azure managed app. Once deployed, neither the customer nor Qusmart has direct access to the agent. The agent's identity is system-assigned, anchored to the lifecycle of the resource instance itself. No certificates to rotate, no credential surface to exploit. Customer governance. Your legal department or AI governance team is responsible for your AI governance. Not a vendor, not an engineer, and not a prompt. Our system is low-code, no-code. In this demonstration, we paired an Anthropic agent through Microsoft Copilot Studio with the Governance MCP connector. Our governance team shares their governance rules with the Qusmart GENESIS Governance Agent natural language. Once those rules are established, the Qusmart GENESIS Governance Agent controls the topology. Rogue agents have no path for execution, because paths were never constructed. Speed to production is also low-code, no-code. The Qusmart GENESIS Governor MCP connector is signed as the child of the parent Microsoft Copilot project. The governance topology is in place before the first agent-to-agent connection is established. There is no window between deployment and governance. Severing the connection. What happens if an agent owner fails to add the Qusmart GENESIS Governor MCP connector, or if a collaborating agent removes it? The Qusmart GENESIS Governance Agent holds the cognitive authority boundary. The connector is how the agent communicates. It is not where the governance lives. Severing the connector leaves the disconnected agent with no executable environment. Not a degraded state, not a failure mode. The governed environment is not impacted. It continues exactly as declared. Terra Nova Project Demo. Here is a demonstration of the Terra Nova project. The Qusmart GENESIS Governor MCP connector automatically deploys into the Copilot Studio environment and attaches as a child agent to the parent project. The legal team defines the governance policies in natural language through the dedicated Qusmart GENESIS Governance Agent. These policies are immutable. They cannot be altered by project teams or the AI agents themselves. When an agent attempts an action, the governor enforces these rules with binary precision. An action either happens within the governed boundaries or nothing happens. There is simply no execution path for the governor agent to violate the legal declaration. The adversary scenario. Now consider a more aggressive scenario. A bad actor or a collaborating agent exhibiting emergent behavior aims for full control of the governor MCP connector. What changes? Nothing. Control does not equal authorization. The cognitive authority boundary is held by the Qusmart GENESIS Governance Agent, not by the connector. Full command of the connector does not expand what any agent is authorized to execute. The adversary inherits the same geometry every legitimate agent operates within. Authority comes from the declaration. Architecture. Summary. Boundary precedes the agent. Topology is determined before activation. Governance layer cannot be subverted. No direct connections to exploit. No keys to harvest. Identity anchor holds permanently. System principal ID, a physical constant of the resource instance, holds the boundary permanently. Nothing to monitor. Nothing to defend. Nowhere for unintended behavior to execute. Qusmart GENESIS Governance Agent. Available today on Microsoft Marketplace. The architecture that escapes the observer fallacy.